was just so fun. So fun. Oh my God, I want to do it again. It's just who I am. I'm a walker. This is not for fitness. This is mental health. Bit by bit. Habits, not goals.
I walk 10,000 steps a day for 30 days. Not for a transformation, but just to get moving again. If you're easing back into walking, this is the video for you. And stick around to the end because I'll share my 5 top practical tips to get you moving and consistent.
December does tend to be a very busy month for me at work. Everybody wants to be seen before they go away on holidays. There's all the Christmas parties and the social things, and my exercise regime does tend to fall to the wayside. So I thought what better time to do this walking challenge would be in January over the summer when I had a couple of weeks off. It's now June. I got really overwhelmed, I'm not going to lie. I got overwhelmed at editing it together and pulling all the pieces together, hence the delay. Better late than never.
The ironic thing is that I really love exercise once I get going. I've always been active. I ran a half marathon 3 years ago without even stopping. But exercise really needs to be part of a daily routine. It has to be scheduled, and I thought my accountability to you guys making this video would really help me get going. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, if she really ran a half marathon without stopping, why is she walking instead of running? Well, the ironic thing is, my friends, even though I am a podiatrist, I do have bunions and very sore feet. These feet are not made for running.
So this is day 1 of my walking challenge. Pardon my embarrassing hat. This is my driving hat. Initially, I thought, 30 days, walking every day for 30 days, that's going to be so easy, no issues. But I realized as much as I love walking, life stuff gets in the way, and if I'm not super organized, I can easily find it difficult to get my walk in. So I think this will be a bit of a challenge. I'm excited for it. I know the energy I get from walking and the ideas I get from walking and just the downloads I get from walking from spirit while I'm walking is just so beautiful. But it's prioritizing it and just making sure that I get it in. Day 2 on my walking challenge. I am loving it. It's beautiful weather. I'm still on holidays, what can I say? I'm on my second walk today, which is very exciting. Really enjoying it. It's been a hot day and it's cooling down now, so nice. And I'm also working on a secret project, not so secret. I got an acting gig, very exciting, filming on Tuesday. So I'm learning my lines while I walk. So I have to share the hat I'm wearing with you today because it's kind of embarrassing. Can I just say that it's like going to be 35 or 38 degrees here in Melbourne, which is very hot for us, Celsius. And I'm trying to get my walk in early, but I didn't quite get early enough. So it's already hot. The UV's already high.
About 17 minutes into my walk, there's this park bench where I love to come and stop if I've got the time and the mozzies aren't too bad. It's tucked away and it's really secluded under this big tree, and it really became quite a sacred place for me. I like to sit there and meditate and go within, and the birds and the wildlife just come alive.
One of the reasons I wanted to do this walking challenge is because typically I have found it difficult to follow through on things long term. Like, I've always followed through on the big things like finishing school, finishing university, when other people are relying on me. But when it comes to myself, this is a way that I can build trust with myself. Following through on doing the things that I say I'm going to do. You know, I've recently given up caffeine, and that was, I really struggled with my self-integrity, because every time I had a cup of tea I'd be like, oh, this is so bad for me, this is so bad for me, which is a terrible thing to be thinking while you're ingesting something. I just couldn't pretend that it was good for me. Someone just drove past and just whipped up all the dust. Yes, this is a way for me to build trust with myself, bit by bit, habits, not goals. So I'm making walking a habit. It's just who I am. I'm a walker. I'm walking up a big hill, and I'm very excited because I just got back from filming that acting job that I had. It was sketch comedy, a lot of improv involved as well, and it was just so fun, so fun. Oh my God, I want to do it again. Everyone was lovely. It was just a great experience. I'll share it with you once I get it eventually. You got to do what you love. Note to self, more acting please. Yay. This is Maggie from the future, who's already done the acting job and had a wonderful time. I did a video about it, which I'll link here, and also in the description I'll put a link to the actual job so you can see the sketch. It's pretty funny. Hey, I'm on my second walk today because it's been really hot and it's actually cooler outside than it is in our house. I'm really enjoying these double walks.
So the time has come for me to go back to work. So I started doing some walks on my lunch break. I would even walk in the car park at work when I had a spare 10 minutes or so. Sometimes I would walk down to the shops. And because I do work on the road sometimes, I could pop down to the beach as well, which was really lovely.
So this is my second walk today because I'm frustrated. I've got creative frustration trying to write a script and it's not flowing. I'm not sure if it's even going to work. So I had to get out, and here I am walking up this massive hill. I don't know if you can see it. God, those birds are so noisy. Cockatoos are so noisy. So yes, this is the big hill. Gets my heart rate up.
One of the things I love about my walks is when I spot the wildlife. I love seeing echidnas, the wallabies, the deer. It really is magical.
I cannot tell you how much I am loving this walk today. I just had a couple of online calls in a row, 2 hours of calls, and it's like the forest or the bush was calling to me and I just had to get out. This is not for fitness, this is mental health. So beautiful. There's a reason why so many of the great minds make walking a part of their daily routine. Apparently Beethoven used to take a sketch pad with him and he'd jot down melodies whilst walking. Steve Jobs would have walking meetings. Charles Darwin would make walking loops of his backyard. And Nietzsche said that all of the greatest thoughts were conceived whilst walking. So I have 5 practical steps for you if you're wanting to start steps. Pardon the pun. I have 5 practical steps for you if you're wanting to start a walking practice or increase the amount of steps that you currently walk. Top tip number 1 is to start small. Start with, say, 5,000 steps, 4,000 steps, and every few days or week you can increase it by 500 or 1,000. It's much better to slowly build up consistently and form the habit than to go gung-ho all out and then think, oh, I can't do that tomorrow, and then crash and burn. My second tip is very important. It's to anchor the walking to your routine. So the walking isn't the trigger. The walking is the habit that you're wanting to do consistently. The trigger can be putting on your shoes, or the trigger can be after breakfast or after lunch or after dinner, or after I do XYZ, then I walk. So the trigger is the most important thing. So come up with an appropriate trigger and you'll be far more likely to succeed. Practical tip number 3 is to make it enjoyable. You can listen to audiobooks or podcasts or music, and I really enjoy sometimes classical music, especially when you're walking in nature. If you play some kind of beautiful Clair de Lune or something like that as you're walking through nature, you can kind of feel like you're in a movie. That could be the drama queen in me. I don't know. Give it a go. Let me know what you think in the comments. Top tip number 4 is to track your progress. I like to use my Apple Watch and my Whoop and Strava, and there's plenty of other apps that you can use to track your progress. Strava can be great because you can be in groups and you can cheer each other on. Not necessarily walking with people, but you can see, oh, you know, my cousin Fran has just walked around the botanical gardens. I can give her a thumbs up, well done. All that kind of thing helps build the sense of community and accountability. It's also really important to use a habit tracker of some sort to mark off that you have completed the task. You're going to get a dopamine hit every time you do that, and once those little crosses start adding up, you're less likely to want to end your streak. So I love it. I love gamifying these things. I have an app that measures my streak, and I really don't want to lose my streak, so it usually makes me do the exercise even if I'm not actually feeling like it. All these things can just be helpful. Number 5 is focus on the big picture and the big wins. It's not just about maintaining a physique and losing weight. It's about your mental health, your emotional, like your moods and your digestion and the ideas you get when you're walking. I've talked about that before. It's a thing. It's a real thing. So just letting your mind be free, be bored, be like just appreciating the beauty around you, the abundance of nature is so good for you. Quality sleep, it's so good for you. Beyond calories burned, we're talking about this is a wonderful way to keep the human vehicle, the human temple, working well in all ways. I'm so glad I did this challenge. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel so connected with nature, and I did get fitter. That hill really kicked my butt. If you're interested in this kind of thing, I did lose 2 kilos, but the clarity, the mental health factor, you just can't put a price on. Honestly, if you have any problems, any things you need to think through, if you're just struggling with anything, go for a walk. I am considering doing 20,000 steps a day, which is a big call because that will take a lot of time, and we're in winter here in Australia.
Hey guys, Editing Maggie here. I did do the 20,000 step a day challenge. I wanted to do it for a week, and then after the 7 days, I thought this is great, I'll keep going. I got to day 10, went for a 20-kilometer walk with my friend Nairi, and I ruined my feet. The worst blisters ever. Like, podiatrist with bad feet. I mean, this is, you know, ironic, but I just couldn't keep going. It actually ruined my walking streak because I was in so much pain. So I did overdo it. So just another life lesson, moderation, peeps.
Thanks for being here. See you in the next video.